The gentle rustling of the cornstalks in the breeze and the warm sunlight filtering through the leaves created a sense of peace. Little did he know, a chance encounter amid those endless rows of corn would unravel a tale of mystery and suspense. One autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the fields, Aaron decided to take a stroll. The cornfield, usually a place of comfort, now seemed different, mysterious. As he walked, he noticed an odd pattern in the way the cornstalks swayed, as if guided by an unseen force. Curiosity getting the better of him, Aaron followed the strange rhythm. The air turned colder, and an unsettling feeling settled in the pit of his stomach. Suddenly, he heard a distant whisper, carried by the wind. It beckoned him deeper into the labyrinth of corn. Drawn towards the haunting sound, Aaron moved cautiously, the cornstalks brushing against his clothes like ghostly fingers. The whisper grew louder, forming indistinct words that echoed in the empty spaces between the stalks. It was as if the very field itself held a secret, and Aaron was about to uncover it. As he ventured further, the moonlight revealed an opening in the cornfield. In the clearing stood an old, dilapidated barn, its weathered boards creaking in the night. The whisper now transformed into a murmur, echoing from the barn's direction. Aaron hesitated but felt an inexplicable compulsion to explore further. Inside the barn, dimly lit by the pale moonlight seeping through the cracks, Aaron discovered an antique journal lying on a wooden crate. Dust-covered and worn, the journal seemed to hold the key to the mysterious whispers. The first page bore an inscription: "The Whispering Cornfield, a tale unveiled." As Aaron flipped through the brittle pages of the journal, he found entries detailing the strange occurrences in the cornfield over the decades. Whispers that led people to the barn, each person drawn by an irresistible force, just like him. The entry spoke of a hidden truth, a dark secret buried within the history of the town. Legends told of a forbidden love that ended tragically, leaving behind a restless spirit. The cornfield became a vessel for the lingering presence, and those who heard the whispers were chosen to uncover the story. Haunted by the revelations, Aaron delved deeper into the journal, discovering that the spirit sought closure. It yearned for someone to unravel the truth and release it from the torment of an unresolved past. Driven by a newfound purpose, Aaron decided to piece together the puzzle. Guided by the journal's accounts, he retraced the steps of those who came before him, deciphering clues hidden within the rustling cornstalks. The town, unaware of the supernatural forces at play, continued its daily life. Aaron, however, became a conduit between the living and the ethereal. The whispers led him to the graves of those involved in the tragic love story, and he uncovered forgotten relics that held the key to the spirit's peace. As he progressed, the encounters with the spirit became more intense. Shadows danced along the edges of his vision, and the whispers turned into anguished cries. Yet Aaron persisted, determined to bring resolution to a tale that spanned generations. With each revelation, the town's history unfolded before him. The forbidden love, the betrayal, and the tragic end were woven into the very fabric of the community. As Aaron pieced together the final fragments, he stood at the crossroads of the cornfield, facing the ethereal entity. "I understand," he whispered, feeling the weight of the spirit's sorrow. In that moment, the air stilled, and the moon cast an otherworldly glow upon the fields. The spirit, finally liberated, dissipated into the night, leaving behind a serene silence. The cornfield, once whispering with secrets, now stood tranquil. As Aaron walked back, the sun began to rise, casting a warm light on the now peaceful cornfield. The townsfolk, unaware of the nocturnal odyssey, resumed their lives, and the barn faded into obscurity. Yet, Aaron carried with him the memories of a haunting tale that transcended time and connected him to the enigmatic forces that dwelled within the heart of the whispering cornfield. The days that followed were marked by a strange calmness that settled over the town. The whispering cornfield, once a source of mystery and unease, now seemed to embrace a newfound peace. Aaron, having played his role as a mediator between the living and the departed, couldn't shake the profound impact of the journey. The townspeople noticed the change, unaware of the supernatural events that had transpired. Aaron, however, found himself haunted by lingering echoes of the cornfield's secrets. Dreams and visions blurred the lines between reality and the ethereal, leaving him in a perpetual state of introspection. One day, as Aaron passed by the now silent cornfield, he noticed a single cornstalk, distinct from the others. Its golden husk seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. Curiosity tugging at him once more, he approached and discovered a small weathered charm buried in the soil, a remnant of the spirit's earthly existence. With a sense of closure, Aaron held the charm in his hands, feeling a connection to a story that had transcended time. The townspeople, though oblivious to the events that had unfolded, sensed a subtle change in the atmosphere, a collective sigh of relief that whispered through the rustling cornstalks. As the seasons changed, the whispering cornfield retained its tranquil demeanor. Aaron, forever changed by the enigmatic tale, became a guardian of the town's history, preserving the journal as a testament to the ethereal forces that once dwelled within the fields. And so, the whispering cornfield, once a source of intrigue and mystery, faded into the annals of the town's folklore. Yet the echoes of that fateful encounter lingered, a reminder that sometimes, beneath the surface of the ordinary, extraordinary stories unfold, waiting to be unraveled by those willing to listen. It was a cold October evening when Mike found himself driving down a narrow country road, surrounded by vast cornfields. The golden stalks whispered in the wind, creating an eerie melody that echoed through the desolate landscape. Mike, a city dweller seeking a weekend escape, had stumbled upon this remote area in search of tranquility. Little did he know, the cornfields held secrets darker than the shadows they cast. As Mike ventured deeper into the heart of the countryside, he noticed a small, dimly lit sign that read Cornfield Cafe, 5 miles ahead. Intrigued, he decided to follow the sign, hoping to find a cozy spot to warm up from the chilling night air. The road seemed to stretch endlessly, the tall cornstalks on either side creating an oppressive sense of isolation. After what felt like an eternity, the dim lights of the Cornfield Cafe came into view. The place seemed straight out of a bygone era, with creaky wooden floors and dim, flickering lamps. The air inside was heavy with the scent of roasted coffee beans and a hint of something else, something unsettling. As Mike sat at the counter, sipping his coffee, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The locals huddled in small groups, casting furtive glances in his direction. The cafe owner, an elderly woman with sharp, piercing eyes, approached him. "Stranger in these parts, ain't ya?" she croaked, her voice sending shivers down Mike's spine. Unfazed, Mike chuckled nervously, "Just passing through. Nice place you've got here." The old woman's gaze lingered on him, and she whispered, "Be careful in these fields after dark. They have a way of changing people." Mike dismissed it as local superstition, paid for his coffee, and headed back into the night. Little did he know, the whispers of the cornfields were just the beginning. The moon hung low in the sky as Mike ventured into the cornfields, guided only by the dim glow of the stars and the rustling leaves of the tall stalks. He couldn't resist the allure of the mysterious landscape, its secrets calling out to him like a siren song. As he walked deeper into the maze-like fields, the whispers grew louder, forming indistinct words that seemed to beckon him forward. Mike's curiosity battled with a growing sense of unease, but he pressed on, driven by an inexplicable force. Suddenly, the whispers ceased, replaced by an ominous silence. Mike felt a chill crawl down his spine, and he instinctively looked around. That's when he saw her, a woman standing amidst the cornstalks, her figure barely visible in the moonlight. "Who's there?" Mike called out, his voice echoing through the stillness. No response. The woman seemed to glide towards him, her long, flowing hair obscuring her face. Mike's heart raced as he tried to make out her features, but the darkness clung to her like a cloak. As she drew nearer, a sense of dread washed over him. He took a step back, only to find himself surrounded by a wall of impenetrable cornstalks. Panic set in as he realized he was trapped, the woman now inches away. In a hushed tone, she spoke. "You shouldn't have come here, Mike. The fields demand a sacrifice." Mike's mind reeled with fear, but before he could react, the cornfields seemed to come alive. Whispers turned into haunting wails, and the air became charged with an otherworldly energy. Shadows danced around them, and the woman's eyes glowed an eerie shade of blue. Desperation clawed at Mike as he struggled to break free, but the cornstalks held him in their grasp. The woman raised her hand, and the world around him blurred into darkness. When Mike awoke, he found himself back at the Cornfield Cafe, the first light of dawn creeping through the windows. His heart pounded, and he questioned whether it had all been a nightmare. But the lingering whispers in his mind told a different story. As he stumbled out into the daylight, the once welcoming countryside now felt like a maze of secrets and shadows. The cornfields whispered their tales, warning any who dared to listen that not all who wander there find their way back. The mystery of the Cornfield Cafe and its haunted fields would remain etched in Mike's memory, a chilling reminder of the darkness that could lurk beneath the surface of even the most tranquil places. Days turned into nights, and the encounter in the cornfields haunted Mike's every thought. Sleep became an elusive companion, as he found himself caught between the real and the surreal. The once familiar cityscape now seemed distant, a mere backdrop to the echoes of that fateful night. Unable to shake off the unsettling experience, Mike became consumed by a compulsion to return to the Cornfield Cafe. He needed answers, closure, anything to free himself from the weight of the unknown. Guided by an inexplicable force, he found himself back on that desolate country road, the memories of the eerie whispers and the mysterious woman driving him forward. As he approached the cafe, its weathered exterior seemed to hold secrets etched into its very foundation. The locals eyed him cautiously, aware that something had changed within him. The elderly cafe owner, her sharp eyes meeting his, nodded knowingly. "Curiosity can be a dangerous thing, young man," she warned cryptically. "But since you've returned, perhaps there's a way to break the curse." With a mixture of fear and determination, Mike delved into the local folklore surrounding the haunted cornfields. Legend spoke of a ritual that could sever the ties between the lost souls and the whispering maze. Armed with newfound purpose, he embarked on a quest to uncover the ancient secrets hidden within the fields. Nightfall arrived once again as Mike stood at the edge of the cornfields, armed with a crude map and the knowledge passed down through generations. The whispers intensified, but this time, Mike confronted them head-on. Step by step, he navigated the labyrinthine paths, facing apparitions that sought to deter him from his mission. The air crackled with energy as he reached the heart of the maze, where the mysterious woman awaited. "You cannot break what is destined, Mike," she murmured, her voice a haunting melody. "The fields demand their due." Undeterred, Mike performed the ritual, a dance between the earthly and the supernatural. The air resonated with ancient incantations, and the cornfield seemed to come alive with a spectral energy. A blinding light enveloped the area, and the whispers transformed into ethereal sighs. The woman's form wavered, her eyes losing their haunting glow. As the ritual reached its climax, the oppressive energy lifted, leaving only the rustling of the cornstalks in the wind. When the light faded, Mike found himself alone in the silent fields. The curse had been broken, and the haunting whispers were replaced by a profound stillness. The once malevolent maze now stood as a peaceful expanse of golden fields under the moonlit sky. As he made his way back to the Cornfield Cafe, the locals observed his return with a mixture of awe and gratitude. The elderly cafe owner nodded approvingly, her eyes expressing a wisdom earned through centuries. "You've done what many couldn't, young man," she acknowledged. "The fields are grateful, and so are we." With the curse lifted, Mike left the countryside behind, forever changed by the spectral encounter. The Cornfield Cafe, once a harbinger of mystery and fear, now stood as a testament to his triumph over the unknown.